The 16th of July 2021 brought yet another Nigerian billionaire to the limelight as the internet went into flames and chaos spread everywhere. It was all happening at the remote area in Anambra, center to the unknown Nigerian billionaire, Obi Cubana, who hosted what many described as one of the most flamboyant funerals in Nigerian history, as the gold casket reportedly worth over 30 million naira lowered his late mother into the ground. Spectators couldn't help but wonder the level of Kubana's mysterious wealth, but the questions became more sinister after the EFCC got him for questioning 4 months later on money laundering charges. How did this event answer so many questions? Why did Kubana's friends accuse him of money rituals? And what do we know so far about his giant clubbing empire? Stay tuned, as what you're about to watch will forever change the way you see Obina Iyegbu, aka Obi Cubana. Born to the family of Mr. and Mrs. Iyegbu on the 12th of April 1975, Obina Tochukwu, popularly known as Obi Cubana, started his early life in the remote town of Oba, located in the southern part of Anambra state. Despite his vast fortune today, Obi never came from wealth. His father served as the principal of a nearby secondary school, while his mother worked as a teacher at Central Primary School, where young Obi began his schooling journey. After finishing his primary education, Obi moved to Onitsha to attend the Dennis Grammar School for his secondary education. Following the completion of his foundational educational journey, the young student proceeded to the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, to study political science. After 4 years in the tertiary institution, with the support of hardcore educators as parents, Obi was able to bag a bachelor's degree in 1998, enrolling immediately after for the National Youth Program. Slowly drifting from the financial coverage of home, Obi realized that it was time to fashion a path for himself, a journey that led a 24-year-old into unimaginable wealth. After being assigned to the National House of Assembly for his service year, Obi began looking for other opportunities to supplement his meager monthly stipend of 2,000 naira. According to him, he engaged in one hustle after another, even having to run a small restaurant business before eventually venturing into real estate. Working with several real estate companies, Obi eagerly advertised land and housing properties in Abuja, driven by the hope of closing a deal and earning a mouth-watering 5% commission. But the salesman career didn't make much for Obi, pushing him to search for more reliable ways to make a living. Then, out of nowhere, a miracle happened. A few months after concluding his National Youth Service Program, Obi secured a deal he never saw coming. A man called and awarded him a house furnishing contract. Happily taking the contract, Obi did the best house furnishing job he could possibly execute. The result of the project so much pleased the client that he gifted Obi the sum of 500,000 naira alongside the 600,000 naira that was charged for workmanship. This was how the conclusion of the contract saw Obi make his first 1 million naira, the springboard he used in leaping to greater heights. Seeing how a single contract with the right people could change a person's life, Obi went full force into contract services, securing another significant deal with the Petroleum Products Marketing Company, a subsidiary of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC). The outcome of this yet undisclosed contract realized enough cash in millions for Obi, leading him to buy his first car, a Mercedes V-Boat, and invest the rest of the money into a beer parlor business. Handling his first major enterprise, Obi poured his heart into it, growing the Garden Bar into a major attraction site in the area. During that period, he shared a large room with his older brother and 4 other roommates, who all contributed to the beer parlor business. According to Obi, most of them would later become established businessmen, spreading their wings into other parts of the country. However, Obi decided to remain in Abuja even after his beloved beer parlor business was demolished under the authority of El Rufai, the then minister of the FCT. Obi had a tough, resilient spirit, but such an event done without proper compensation from the government could break any man. However, the developing young entrepreneur knew he needed to bounce back. In a morning spirit, Obi went back to the drawing board, determined to replicate the success of his former business in a bigger way. With the last portion of his business income as fuel, Obi took off to the clubbing sector. While erecting his first nightclub structure, he made a silent prayer, a request made in faith that in 10 years' time, he would own one of the biggest nightclubs in Abuja. In 2006, the entertainment center, the Ibiza nightclub, was established. In a turn of events, Obi's prayer manifested in just 6 months, as the exotic nightclub quickly became the favorite chill spot of several Abuja big boys. This impressive success, like that of his former business, proved to Obina, Iyegbu, and to those around him that he was indeed born for the hospitality industry. Confident in his capacity to expand, a friend of Obi contacted him, informing him of an opportunity to take over a certain structure at Wuse 2 and turn it into a nightclub. However, Obi kept turning down the offer, choosing to focus on managing the young Ibiza nightclub. But the calls from the friend persisted, eventually convincing Obi to take the interest in the project and give it a try. Meeting with the property stakeholders and signing a 10-year lease agreement, Obi began a second nightclub project in Abuja. It was during this project that he met one of his greatest challenges in life, one that almost made him entirely give up on the nightclubbing business. If you're enjoying this documentary, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support enables us to continue sharing compelling stories like this one. Now, let's get back to the story. A few months after Obi and his wife had their first son following their marriage in 2008, an unfortunate event occurred. It was on a Valentine's Day, and the couple were having a good time at the Transcorp Hilton Hotel when all of a sudden, the nursing mother collapsed on the floor. As the event unfolded, medical tests revealed that she was troubled by a brain cyst, a condition that could potentially lead to a permanent partial paralysis for the woman. Disturbed by this news, Obi quickly flew his wife to South Africa to get the best treatment. Not only did the entrepreneur halt his business project, he even began contemplating completely relocating from Nigeria to take care of his wife. As if things couldn't get worse, this troubling period sparked unfounded rumors around, carried by Obi's so-called friends who were secretly accusing him of attempting to use his wife for money rituals.
And see what they're hearing, that I wanted to use my wife for juju. So what? And it was my friends.
Although shocked and heartbroken by the news, that was the least of his worries at the moment. With Ibiza at the top and Kubana in the works, he was watching his growing clubbing empire go down for something he believed was much more important: family. But then, his sick wife was not willing to see to it. According to Obi, she successfully talked him out of the dreadful decision of abandoning the Kubana project, seeing how passionate he had been about it.
So she was battling for her life, but she was rooting for me to go back and finish my dream because she knew how passionate I was about this project.
Thanks to her words of encouragement and support, Obi managed to finish the Kubana project in 2009, launching what would eventually become one of the biggest clubs in Nigeria. With the slow recovery of his wife and the opening success of Kubana, Obi once again regained the motivation to push harder in business. The rising of Ibiza and Kubana nightclubs gave Obi the confidence, credibility, and business capital to spread the nightclub business across the country. Over the years, he began reinvesting his business revenue, establishing several entertainment spots in Abuja, Lagos, Owerri, and Port Harcourt. All it took was an excellent delivery with a touch of time, and the Kubana brand name started gaining popularity. The vibrant clubs, targeted at opulent clients, were marked by their luxurious interiors, VVIP areas, ultra-modern sound systems, and exotic cocktails, setting a revolutionary standard in the Nigerian hospitality industry. Aiming to control his enterprise from one place, Obi founded the Cubana Group, a rising conglomerate that oversees several investments in and outside the entertainment sector. In real estate, he launched a subsidiary, Casa Cubana, with the aim of closing the gap between luxury and affordable housing. The subsidiary further undertook a certain Gulf City project in Abuja, aimed at developing an exclusive residential area with outstanding social amenities. But this was only a starting point. Combining his brand power with the business skills of colleagues in the food sector, Obi established Kubana FMCG in 2023, a food distribution company that broke into the market with the launch of Odogu Bitters. a popular alcoholic beverage. With additional thriving businesses like Enviable Transport & Co., it is no surprise why the entrepreneur is speculated to be worth billions of naira, with a rumored weekly income of 90 million naira from his clubs. According to the billionaire, while he is successful today, he has also been caught up in several bad businesses, a part of his life he doesn't like to talk about. Even with plans to expand into countries like Ghana, the United Kingdom, and the UAE, Obi Cubana continues to have his wealth viewed in controversy. But this has not always been the case. The billionaire has acknowledged his mother's groundbreaking funeral as the landmark of his fame, stating that he never expected the overwhelming sponsorship from his friends, nor the extensive social media coverage. Interestingly, long before that, the Kubana brand had always been associated with the popular self-acclaimed Nigeria's #1 celebrity barman, aka Kubana Chief Priest, a former worker of Obi who eventually became his right-hand man. For years, it has always been the sensational socialite marketing the Kubana nightclubs, while Obi worked in the shadows. It was not until the burial ceremony at the CEO's hometown that all fingers began to point at him. Despite the sudden fame and the controversies that came with it, Obi continues to remain focused on business as usual, leveraging his widely recognized brand name to create even newer ones. But business operations had to briefly come to a halt on the 1st of November 2021, when the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, got Obi Cubana for questioning on allegations of money laundering and tax fraud. This significant legal hiccup captured national attention, as it was just a few months after the extravagant wealth display in his hometown. After spending approximately 24 hours in EFCC custody, Obi Cubana was released on administrative bail. He confirmed his release through a social media post, although he revealed no insightful detail about the case, nor did the EFCC. While the Financial Crimes Unit hinted that investigations were still ongoing, years have gone by and no formal charges have been laid against Obi. In the midst of all this, the business mogul has refused to let these external troubles perturb him. He continues to host grand events, a major part of his lifestyle, even before exposure by social media, according to him. As the face of his entertainment business, Obi leads an interesting public life. His physical appearances are always accompanied by either his Rolls-Royce Phantom, Mercedes G-Wagon, Maybach, or other impressive four-wheeled possessions. Even more, his decades of hard work have afforded him 2 grand mansions, one in his hometown and another in Abuja, where he primarily resides with his beloved wife, 4 sons, and 1 adopted child. Having toiled for the life he is living today, Obi continues to ignore every whisper behind his back. According to him, people who have built a brand understand what it takes and will find it difficult to talk down another brand. He has continually laid emphasis on hard work when speaking to people aspiring to attain greater levels of wealth, dispelling any reliance on dishonest methods. Whether as a successful business prodigy or billionaire celebrity, Obi Cubana has developed an outstanding public image, one worth studying by upcoming entrepreneurs. But behind all that glamour still lies the one man, Obinna Iyebu, the boy from Oba who turned dust to marble.